thing that they all have in common. They have an employer. That employer is made up of investors just like you and I who invest in those companies who employ these people. This is not a government employing 150 million people in our workforce. This is about getting the American economy a bridge, and that's all this is a bridge to weather this medical crisis that we have. With that, Mr. President, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Senator from Ohio.
Thanks, President. I appreciate the comments from the senator from Georgia. There's plenty of negotiations going on. I don't know what he means when he says he doesn't have anybody to negotiate with. I just spent 2 hours with Secretary Mnuchin talking about provisions of this bill. We spent hours on Friday and Saturday talking within our committees. I applaud Senator Rubio, what he and Senator Cardin did. There's been bipartisanship, but not from the majority leader, and that's really fundamentally been the problem, the Republican leader. Let's back up 10 days. I stood on this floor, Senator Durbin was here, a bunch of us, when Senator McConnell on a Thursday night, we were this close to agreement with the House on the second package, the ones that had sick days in it, sick leave policy. We were that close. Senator McConnell decided he had to go back to Kentucky to go to a political event with the Justice of the Supreme Court, a political event with the Justice of the Supreme Court in Kentucky.
Yield.
I'm sorry, what?
Will the senator yield?
Of course.
When did the Senate receive that bill from the House?
That's not the point. The point is that...
Will the senator yield?
Certainly.
Will you answer my question? When did the House receive that bill?
I don't know the day, but I know it was a day or two later.
What about where has the House been for the last week?
I'm not yielding now, Senator Cox.
Where has the House been for the last week?
I know you always want to do Trump, the president's bidding. You always want to do, I have the floor and I will keep the floor. The fact is that we were in negotiations with Speaker Pelosi, I assume with Leader McCarthy. In the Senate, we were this close to legislation. Senator McConnell went home. Senator Cotton's not disputing the fact he went home for a political event with a justice of the Supreme Court, for gosh sakes. Went home Friday. We didn't vote Friday. We didn't vote Saturday. We didn't vote Sunday. We didn't vote Monday. We didn't vote Tuesday. We didn't vote until Wednesday. So we've tried to be bipartisan. Senator McConnell then dispatched all of us just a few days ago to do negotiations within our committees. I sat with...
Would the senator yield for a question?
Well, I'd like to sort of explain the
senator does not
details,
yield.
but if the time comes out of your time, I'd be glad to.
The senator yields.
My question will be short. Is it not true that the bill to which the senator refers was still being written over the weekend, and it would have been impossible for the United States Senate to vote on it before Monday?
No, the answer to that question is no, it would have been possible. We can always suspend the rules and move if it's in the national interest, but we didn't vote, you know this, Senator Alexander, we didn't vote until Wednesday. But let me back up. So this weekend, Senator Crapo and I and Banking Committee members were making progress on Friday and Saturday. Then Saturday night, Senator McConnell decided that he would take everything back and write a partisan bill. So don't tell us that this has been a bipartisan effort. Again, Senator Rubio and Senator Cardin had some bipartisan efforts. We attempted that. But the fact is, we need to learn from 10 years ago, the same people came to us and said, we need this bailout. They promised that it would help people stay in their homes. They promised that it would be money in the pockets of workers. The banks have done well, the executives have done well, but since then, wages have basically remained flat. The American people don't want another corporate bailout. They don't want a bailout for Wall Street. They don't want a bailout for the airlines. They want money. If we're going to do a relief package, the money needs to go in the pockets of workers. We know that in case hundreds of people, thousands of people in each of our states are faced every day with the situation, do I go to work? I'm sick today. Do I go to work and possibly infect somebody else in the workplace? Or do I stay home and lose the pay that I need in order to pay my mortgage or in order to pay my rent? We need this plan is all about a corporate bailout. The money, $425 billion, that the Secretary of Treasury can decide as a slush fund on where to direct that money instead of money going to workers, to food banks, to unemployment insurance, to sick day policy, to all the things that we need to do to keep businesses going and people in their homes. We have a prohibition that so far Senator McConnell has objected to on foreclosures and evictions. You all know the statistics. 40% of Americans don't have $400 discretionary money in their pockets that they can use in an emergency to fix their car or whatever. If they go several weeks without paying, they will be evicted. They will be foreclosed on. We need Senator McConnell to actually agree to that. And when it comes to the $425 billion slush fund, we want to help these businesses, especially small businesses. We want to help the airlines, but we need to make sure that this money passes through to employees. That means no corporate bailouts without investing in the dignity of work. It means if you're taking taxpayer money, no stock buybacks, no sending jobs overseas, no outsourcing your jobs to independent contractors, no golden parachutes for executives, no using taxpayer dollars to bust unions, no wage cuts for these employees, no health care or pension cuts. We put money into these businesses. This money is there not for the executives, it's there for the workers, and it's there for the community. It means actually helping people stay in their homes. If you love this country, you fight for the people who make it work. We have to show the people we serve that we've learned from Congress's mistake 10 years ago when the banks did very well, thank you, and Wall Street again will do very well, thank you, under the McConnell plan. We have to come together to put money in people's pockets. We need to help people stay in their homes. We need to invest in healthcare workers who are on the front lines. We need to mobilize American manufacturers. The partisan McConnell plan doesn't do this. The bipartisan work we're trying to do could do this. We know we can get through this together. Put this partisanship aside, come together for the people whom we serve. I yield the floor.
Senator from South Dakota.
Mr. President, I would